Hi, like and subscribe. Like and subscribe.
Smash the like button, Rory.
Smash the like button.
Smash the motherfucking like button, dude. Smash the shit out of the like. You fucking never smash it before. You see that like button, man? You see that like button? Smash it. You gotta smash it. Smash it.
What?
Smash it.
Smash.
Smash it.
Look,
Smash.
anyone who watches this, if they don't like it after that, they have no heart.
Yeah,
Seriously.
They have good taste.
If you don't get 1,000 likes off that, I'll be disappointed.
Yeah, I know, right? We want to monetize this. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, like and subscribe. We're sponsored by whatever this brewery is. They're good. Thanks, guys.
I'll ask the
Our
question.
sponsors Pump Water this week. Pump Water. Pump Water.
And thank
Demon
you.
Head. Sponsored
Thank
by
you.
Demon Head.
My
Rubric.
sponsor is a pumpkin.
It was a pumpkin.
We got RCA work style lights here. We've got lights for your workplace. Boom, boom, bright as fuck.
Oh,
Check that out. Light
we
as.
didn't even see that coming. All right,
Boom, toss it away.
I'm going to ask the question so you guys can go first, right? The question is, what is the first big festival? No,
Stadium show, wasn't it?
stadium show, isn't it?
Yeah.
What was your
Yeah,
first
stadium
stadium show?
show.
And I think Ben, you go first.
Oh, you fucker. Oh,
So
no.
that's like a single band, not like a big festival, but like a single
Okay.
band. Like,
All right. Okay. So I've got a couple, and I'll touch on them each briefly. Okay. All right. So my first big one was Tool for the Lateralis tour, and that was at the Sydney Entertainment Centre. And Mum took me, and we didn't get the best seats because I was right up the back. But like, man, everyone was smoking, and then like the imagery was amazing. Like they had the people, the acrobat people, and it was just an intense live show. It was amazing, and that was one of my big first ones. And then there was Limp Bizkit and Mudvayne at the Sydney Entertainment Centre as well, I think it was. And that was for their big day out. I think it was like 2001. You remember when there was I think that girl died in that big day out with Limp Bizkit? That was that year.
That year.
No, I wasn't that show, but they played the Sydney Entertainment Centre, and Mudvayne was just like a spare of the moment, last minute edition.
Hey man, Fred Durst is a fucking douchebag.
Oh, dude, but that show, that was that Limp Bizkit
Like
show
and
was sick.
subscribe.
Like and subscribe. And then my first ever show was actually
how
Fear
many
Factory.
first evers have we got going on here?
Well, not first. No.
Seven shows.
First big one was Tool, right?
Okay.
And then the next one was Limp Bizkit. That was these were all like in a space of like a couple of years. Like it was like the early 2000s.
Okay.
And then I just want to get them all out because they're all amazing. And then the first was Fear Factory for Obsolete Tour, and that was at the Metro in Sydney. And then the last one, which is the funniest one, Skin Lab Tour. And this was like not 2000. Mum took me as well, and this was at a dingy pub, and like Henry's Anger was like support, and the singer was cracking onto Mum. And wanting him like Mum to go back, and Mum's like, I got my son here, just taking him out to his metal show and all this sort of stuff. So yeah. And I was pretty, I don't know how old I was. It's like 18 or 19 or something like that. I'm probably younger.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but yeah, to answer the question, the first one was Tool, and that was a big stadium show, Entertainment Centre, and that was amazing. But I had
That's
that
an epic first show.
Yeah, it was. But as I said, like I had all these epic first, like when I started listening to metal, and like these shows just all came in a couple of years. I just experienced all those things. It was really awesome. I still remember all of them really vividly.
No, Superman, not
Emma's just being stupid.
No, why am I being stupid?
Yeah. Anyway, next person.
Go on, Brendan.
All right. Mine's pretty epic. John Farnham And this is
Yeah.
in the 80s.
Yeah,
Yeah,
boy.
boy.
So my mate's mum was going down, and she paid for tickets for him and me, and we were both into like Metallica, Guns N' Roses, Iron Maiden, you know, those bands around that time. And the same night, across the road, Guns N' Roses were playing. So this was like a the tennis center, I think, or something like that. So Guns N' Roses were playing. So we arrived in a bus, pulled up, and we see all these like Guns N' Roses fans, and we just like, oh shit, we want to go over there. But we had to go and watch John Farnham, which was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like, holy,
He's amazing.
I love that.
and like he's an entertainer, which is a pretty obvious thing to say. But just such a massive stage show with all these people on the stage. Yeah, crazy.
When was that in the 80s? Was it? What?
Yeah.
Where did you say it was again?
I think it was at the tennis center. This
Yeah.
was, I'm pretty sure it was not long after the tennis center was built. That could be a lie, though.
Yeah.
I don't know where the tennis center was built.
Where was that?
Melbourne.
Melbourne. You say the tennis center, like the tennis?
Yeah, like Rod Laver Arena.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's changed names a few times.
Yeah,
but
okay.
It's called the tennis center back then.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And
that's
just piggybacking on Ben's list here, seeing
Yeah, awesome. Yeah.
So Radiohead live, that obviously in the Boondocks, fucking way up. But as far as stage shows go, holy shit, that was a big one.
Yeah. What tour was that for Radiohead?
That would have been in the 2000s.
Yeah.
So mid 2000s, late 2000s.
Yeah.
Whatever that was.
Yeah. They're all the best shows with them. And it's, yeah. It's so cool.
I want to mention another gig, but it was at the Forum, so it's not a big stadium gig.
No, that's not saying it. It's still a big gig.
It's also probably the best live show I've ever been to. And it's not metal. So maybe we could save that for a different question. Best non-metal gig you've ever been to.
See, I've got lots of non-metal ones too.
Yeah, they're all one wing.
All right.
Yeah.
Save it. We'll save it.
So I'll save that one.
Yeah, we'll
because
talk about
it blew my mind. There we
Come
go.
on, Rory.
John
Yeah,
Farnham,
go on, Rory.
Radiohead.
I'm going to stick to the actual question format and just have one answer.
Oh,
And that is,
We're just so young, bro. Just so young.
yeah, I've only ever been to one fucking, I haven't even been to a stadium thing. Gizfest at the fucking, what was it? The Melbourne Showgrounds, yeah. Gizfest played there. That was pretty huge. That was in like a massive 10 pavilion thing. And they had like a huge projector playing at the background, which was just playing like this blue-red coloured like fuzz imagery. Like it was just real fuzzy. It wasn't really, it was real bizarre, yeah. And they just shredded it, man. That was so good. And I'm laying in bed. I'm going to fall asleep. And then they had like all these shipping containers set up. And it was really clever. So, like, they had one of the, you know, because they've got the big pavilions there at the showground. They had, like, you know, 6 or 8 kind of shipping containers all, like, set up, like, around in, like a semicircle. And then they had bands, like, smallish indie local bands playing in each one of them all at once. So you could go in to anyone at any time and there's a different band playing, man. And, like, some of the bands had, like, a following. So, like, they were like, you know, 100 people are trying to cram into a shipping container, and it's like shoulders on shoulders. Like, it's so tight, like, it's crazy. People were just going shit. And then there was these, like, one group of dudes that were just playing, like the most experimental synth music, like, for 3 hours straight. Like, they had, like, 20 instruments and synths set up. At one point, I shit you not, a dude is playing a Nintendo DS as an instrument. He's got a Nintendo DS hooked up and he's playing some game loaded through the DS and he's like, tapping this like keyboard on it. It was pretty strange, but yeah, that was probably my favourite one. And it's because it's my only one, so
That's so good.
That sounds really good.
I love it.
That's good, oh, man. Definitely, if they do another Gizfest, we should definitely go. Just because it was like they just put it on, man. Like it was just one of the best. Like
Well,
so well run.
imagine the logistics of that. Fucking hell.
Oh man, and like it was huge. So many people were there. They killed it. Like absolutely, yeah.
Like
Man.
bands and shipping containers. Oh my god, imagine the smell. Oh,
Not very COVID friendly.
no, COVID friendly. Yeah,
It probably would never happen for ages now.
yeah. Take that off. Like maybe for another 10 years that will happen.
How did King Giz play? Were they good? Did they play good set?
Yeah, it was good, man. They were solid. Like, couldn't really fault it. I'd eaten probably about 18 cannabis oil caps at that point, so I was feeling pretty good about life. Yeah, I remember a whole heap about that.
Yes.
Oh hell. Geez.
Frosty, go ahead.
All right.
Probably so.
My first stadium gig, I'm fairly sure I was underage. I'm fairly sure I was actually 17. And I was nowhere near being 18, so I shouldn't have been there. But it was Metallica
Oh, bullshit.
at the tennis center. Yeah, it was the first big concert I went to, and I was in general admission. And I went with my brother, and I will never forget this because it was so amazing. I got up on top of the crowd at the front, which, you know, for someone like back then too, I was tiny too. I was like skinny, tiny. I was this tiny guy, and it was during Master of Puppets, and James, you know how he doesn't always sing the chorus, like the master part, and he's kind of turning, like he's moving away from the microphone, and he's like leaning into the crowd, and he's screaming master, and I'm right there locking eyes with him, screaming master. I'm like, this is freaking amazing. Like it was the most amazing thing I'd ever heard in my life, and I did not realize how fucking loud it is. Like it absolutely blew me away. Like I was 17 too. I haven't been to much, you know. I'd only been to a few smaller shows like my brother had played and stuff. Like I hadn't really looked at it. But when you walk in, you see like the speakers like rode up the side of the bloody stage like this, you know, fire shooting out and all this sort of stuff. You're like, what the hell is it? I mean, no YouTube or anything. And the only thing you have to go on is what other people have said.
Yeah.
And, you know, back then I didn't know, like it wasn't really only Danny's friend, my brother's friends that had been to gigs like that before. And it's not that they sit down to Danny's brother and say, hey dude, you should go to a gig because they do this and they do that. So I didn't know what to expect. I just walked in, went, shit, this is big shit. This is a lot of people. Holy hell, listen to that. You know, and it was a time. I fell in love with it. Absolutely fell in love with it that day.
Yeah.
That was amazing. And then but other ones after that, I have to say, whilst this wasn't a stadium gig, although I did see Guns N' Roses when they came out last, and I actually really enjoyed that. There was lots of fun. Because, you know, Slash and Axl were both there. Izzy was there too, and he was damn good too, I must say. But you know, got to see Axl and that, so I was happy with that. But the one I had the most fun, or have had the most fun at, and I've seen them twice or three times now, might be three times, I can't remember. Machine Head, without a doubt, the best show that I just absolutely love it. You spend the whole night singing back to him, and you know, ohs all the bloody time, and everyone's going crazy. And he just, like, Rob Flynn's just all this energy the whole time, the whole night. He's such a larger than life figure in there. And I love it. Oh, every time they come, I'm like, yeah, we're seeing that. Yep, we're going to that. The last one I actually went by myself because I didn't have anyone else to go with. I'm like, I'm going. It's just too good, you know. And it was brilliant. I ended up hanging out with these guys I'd never met before, and it was just a great. It was they are just so good. I cannot speak any more highly of them. But again, that isn't a state. It was at the Forum.
Yeah.
So that's kind of, it's not as. Before that though, they played at Russell Street, which was good, but they played more shows. So I think that's a 500 capacity venue. 500s.
What's that?
Russell Street. Is that 500? It might be more.
No,
I'm not sure.
No, I think it's 1,000.
Is it? Well,
Yeah.
they played twice, and then when they came back, they did the Forum twice, and they sold it out the first time.
Yeah, I think the Forum's bigger. Yeah.
So definitely. Yeah. So they did quite. They're doing better, I suppose, than the first time they came, but no, they're just so good. Love them. Love watching
I've got one thing to add. this is when I went to the Fear Factory one, and that was at the Metro, and that's like the Forum sort of style, but in Sydney. So that was my first ever going to a live metal show, and Segression was support, and I was with this girl, and she was in high school, and she liked metal, but she was a year above me, and her and her parents organised, and my parents just organised for us to go. But I thought when Segression hit the stage, I thought it was Fear Factory, and I'm like, what the hell's going on? And for like half an hour, I'm like, this is not right, and I was getting really. And then it wasn't until they got off.
Juked.
Yeah, and then they got off, and I'm like, oh, now they come. And yeah, I remember it so vividly, dude. I was sitting down and I was just like, I was so confused because I'd listened to because it was for the Obsolete album, and I just listened to the album religiously. I was like, these are none of the songs off this album.
I met them on that tour.
Yeah,
I met them at the Jam Factory. I've got the signed CD somewhere.
What year was that?
Oh God, I don't even remember.
It's like 2000 or 99. Because I know that album came in 98. It was a bit after that.
Yeah, it was a little bit after. Probably 2000 would be my guess.
I think it was 2000.
But yeah, they were But now that's all history, man. Burton's no longer in the band, and they're looking for a new vocalist. And yeah, so I got to meet the original lineup, and you got to see I never got to see them at that time. I didn't have the money, but you got to see the original lineup.
Dude, I saw with Raymond,
and Raymond and.
Dude, that's Edge Crusher was my favorite song. Like this big teenager,
right?
Yeah, no, and just hearing that so
snare
amazing.
Too, right? Dum dum clack, dum dum clack. It's just
It was a mad light show too. I remember. I was like just fucking with my eyes. I've never experienced that. It was deaf afterwards, so loud. Like what you were saying about the Metallica one. Yeah, that's what got me thinking. I was just like, dude, that was so loud. But I just remember, just didn't know what a support band was. I just thought it was so funny. I still laugh about it today.
I did see at Festival Hall. I did go and see Limp Bizkit at Festival Hall, and that was, geez, my legs were sore. Everyone jumps, and you don't have a choice. You have to jump.
Yeah,
I was too old to jump. Take it to the Matthews Bridge. Oh my God! My calves. It was just terrible.
I need to sit down.
Yeah. Need a stool.
Yeah.
Like a portable.
Stop packing a chainsaw. Did anybody pack a chair?
Little fold-up job.
But that's have you ever been in a Slipknot gig where they do that sit down? Have you seen that?
I've seen it.
I've seen that, yeah.
Oh, geez, that's uncomfortable. So what happens, that you won't know this, Brendan, so you and anyone watching this might not know it too. So what happens is, in one of the songs, I think it's Spit It Out, they do it in, there's this part where the song explodes, right? It gets really big. So it goes all the way down and then goes boom up. And what they do is they extend that down part. And what they do is they say, everyone sit down on the ground, sit. And you don't sit on the ground. You sit on the guy behind you, and the guy in front of you sits on your lap. That's what happens because you've got no room, right? You're squished in. So everyone's sitting on each other's laps. And they were just waiting for him to come on, just kick it back in. For God's sake, this is so uncomfortable. Because if you can think of doing it's like a seating wall squat. Like that's what you're doing.
It's like sitting in an airplane.
Yeah, and then he does he does a little intro for it just before he says, I'm all out of enemies. Fuck me, I'm all out of enemies, and everyone jumps up and everyone keeps jumping. I have never been in a more adrenaline-filled situation at a live gig than that moment, because everything's so quiet and settled, and everyone's just sitting down waiting for it to happen, and it just goes boom, and you go, holy shit, and everyone just goes nuts, and there's circle pits, and oh man, amazing, really powerful. You can see why Slipknot has done so well, because of those sorts of moments. Like those moments you walk away and you say, I'm never going to forget that. Like it doesn't matter what every other band does, they don't do stuff like that. And that's why Slipknot have done so well, But yeah.
This question's fucking debunked.
Fucking debunked.
It's just, I don't know, I'm just spitting out random words.
We debunked our first ever stadium gigs.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching. like it.
And subscribe.
Is that what you want me to say?
That's
Hey,
it.
put a comment in, guys. Actually, we'd love to hear from you. Tell us, what was your first stadium gig? Well, and what was maybe your favorite? Tell us down the bottom. We will reply. I promise.
I
Brendan,
most certainly will reply.
we will reply. Okay.
If you
We'd
can
like.
beat John Farnham, we'll send you
Oh.
a CD.
Yes. Done.
But I'm not telling you what sort of CD. It could be one from my stash.
Oh no.